Good morning. I would say ladies, but we're missing one.
Oh, we're having a secret podcast today, Nikki. It's all about you. Don't tell Kira. Maybe she
We
won't know.
snuck out.
Maybe she
We
won't
snuck
know.
out.
Today is going to be an interesting one. I actually have a conversation that really just contains you and I. So this will be a little bit
Yeah.
of fun. And we'll see what happens when Kira finds it. So,
We'll
who
see.
are we? We are Women Talk Fierce, three women, three stages of life, a roller coaster of laugh, lessons, and loud opinions. And it might just turn into a true crime podcast. Nikki, I think you're closer
Literally.
than me today,
Literally. Yeah.
but we'll save that for another time. So
Yep.
today we're going to talk about, now we always focus on three women, three different stages of life, but today we're going to focus on two women going through the same thing at the same
Yeah.
time and exactly kind of I don't know, the the output that we give with the stress of this or the input we take to try to remain calm.
Ah,
One or the other. So
we'll
what it
see.
is Nikki and I are both building houses. Now, we'll go through a little bit about that with you. Now, I will say we're doing it in two different very ways. And in fact, I
Yes.
didn't know this till yesterday about Nikki, but she is actually physically building her house
Oh, yeah.
herself with her husband. So,
Yeah.
we're going to go through that. So, Nikki, we decided to build probably about, oh gosh, a year or so ago.
Yep.
Now, it took us forever to find a piece of land, found a great piece of land. I will say the thought of, it sounded fun, it sounded easy, it sounded great. Now, in the meantime, we had to pay for the land and the current house we were in. And then we got to a construction loan. So then we had to pay the house, the note, and the construction loan. So that enough is enough to bury anybody, I would think, but maybe it's just me. Um, so in doing that, the process was also to, in the middle of it, sell our house, probably in one of the worst economies that I've seen in a very long time. Which was another difficult process. So that's a little bit about mine. We'll jump more into it. Nikki, you want to go ahead and say how you're started?
Yeah. If I don't keep getting my mic stolen. So with ours, we decided to go ahead and sell our house. We'll go blessing. Um, after we purchased our land. So we knew from the get-go that we wanted to build a house. We wanted to, have a lot of land. That was always our goal. So we found it and we bought it. And probably 6 months after we purchased our land, we sold our house that we were living in and we moved into a camper.
Woohoo. Now, I have some experience in campers, and I have to say there's a lot
Yeah.
of PTSD with me with campers. I don't think I can ever, in fact, you kind of got one going on now. But anyway,
Yeah. There is I could probably write a book, literally, and it probably would be a bestseller because it's very comical. Um, of course, when we decide to record is when my son gets off the couch and starts tossing around. Anywho, so when we decided to build our house, we knew what kind of style house we wanted, and we did all the things. Of course, both my husband and I are entrepreneurs, so we are self-employed. So that was a whole, Tammy knows this
Hmm.
process too. It's a whole different rabbit hole.
Yes, we do have to touch a little bit on that too, just so people know.
Yeah. And that's one thing you don't know when you are an entrepreneur, that your credit is handled very differently. Any loans that you
Exactly.
take out is handled so differently.
Are a
Nobody
risk.
want nobody wants
Nobody
to give you
wants
money.
to. Absolutely. Not when you're
Um,
self-employed and they are digging deep to find any
yes,
reason why to not give you a
yes,
loan. So, I mean, I get it. That took us probably, I want to say 7 months. And I know it
yes.
took you a little bit longer.
Yes, it was almost a year because we with the amount of time that my husband and I have been in business, it's very close to each other. So we had to wait till we each hit like the 3-year mark of being in business.
Yep.
skip if you
Absolutely. And
want to
now
buy
those
anything.
are the
You have
records
to
you're going to
have.
need to provide. Absolutely.
Yep,
You
you have to
know,
have 3 years of tax return, like consecutive tax returns with your business listed as your employment. So that was a waiting game. There was nothing that we could do. But in the meantime, we searched for people to build our house. We got quotes from different people. And in the meantime, also we started paying out of pocket
hmm,
for like I mean a lot of the grading we did ourselves. We have a family member that does it, so we contracted him out to do some things. We went ahead and had our well put in. We went ahead and got all of our quotes and ducks in a row while we were waiting for us to be able to apply for the house built, because you buying a house versus building a house is a different loan in itself.
100%. It's
Then
called
you
a
stack
construction
self-employment,
loan. Absolutely. And
and
mind you,
then
though,
you stack self-employment on top of it. It's a horse of a different color. So
absolutely.
we did all of that while we waited, and we got, of course, house quotes, and we settled on a home builder actually. But then
Oh,
once we went to do our loan, it was like, and we started breaking down numbers, our house payment was going to be like astronomical. And we're like,
because,
this
yep.
is going to be our forever home, like well, where we grow old, where we, finish raising our kids, grandkid, like all the things. We don't want to be stuck with the astronomical house payment. So we started breaking things down. And of course, my husband is a very go-getter. He solves all the problems that come our way. So we put our heads together and we're like, okay, why does it cost $15,000 to paint a house
Yeah,
on the
right.
inside? Why does it cost $30,000 just to do the framing, just for materials? Why does it cost all that much? It doesn't. Trust me, it does not cost all that much money. So, long story short, we broke down all the numbers. We're like, okay, we can lay our own flooring, we can do our own tile work, we can do our own painting. I love to paint. I love to paint houses, so why not? So we have literally built every single piece of our house.
I
Mainly
know.
my
I saw
husband,
the videos.
but
I was like, hold up. Is that you, Nikki?
mainly my husband, but I am out there doing whatever I
Yeah.
can.
Mhm.
And even if it's just handing him a hammer. And so he's up and down on the ladder. Here's a row of nails. Here's a ruler, or I mean, not a ruler, the tape measure, the square, like whatever you need. I'm
And
handing it, or I'm doing stuff that I can do. So yeah,
yeah, well, that's the thing that I don't think people understand. That's kind of why we're having this conversation.
yeah.
When you are self-employed and when you do, it's 100,000% easier to buy a house than to
Oh
construct it.
yeah, hands
But
down.
you get the same kind of scrutiny buying a house if you're self-employed. And having both of your partners self-employed, which is the same for myself and my husband,
Yeah,
it's almost like you get punished for it. You get through the ringer, you
exactly.
get punished for it, they are digging deep. So small business that supports the economy is the one who gets punished the most when it comes
Yeah,
to loans and construction loans and so on and so forth.
yeah,
So the loan process for us was a nightmare also. So that is something to be fully aware of. Now, I will say, you did it differently than I did. You sold your house before and then
hmm,
got a place to live. We, were having the construction done while we were
yep,
process of selling the house. Now, the downside to that, as I mentioned, the economy and the housing market is not as strong as it has been. First time in what, about 10 years.
yep,
So it took a good while to sell our house, and it was almost $100,000 less. Now,
yep,
would I have done that if I knew the economy was going to be this way? No, I would have completely waited. But we had listed in January before there was any type of stuff going on for the economy. But that process was long and tedious, and I don't know how many sleepless nights I had with
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And still kind of do. So we are now. Now, I will say that with ours, we did do a builder. A couple reasons. My husband's definitely, handy and can, has
Yeah,
his
yeah.
so on and so forth. But new state, new rules. Some he may not
Yep.
be familiar with. But we did, and it was funny because, you always fear those deadly extras, which
Uh-huh.
we were so clear on not having, of course. The grade of our house had to be increased one or two ways, and the cheaper way was to add more bricks. So I have a 14-foot basement. It's all right. I have a couple of basketball players. I can always put some hoops somewhere.
That's right.
So, but that was extra.
Extra.
Uh, and then we had to come up with money for the
Hmm.
extras, which we didn't have because everything's dumped in the 5 different mortgages we're carrying.
Yep.
So it is interesting when you are self-employed to go into buying a house, building a house, getting a building, even for your own business.
Hmm.
So Nikki is completely right. Having those 3 years of records is definitely needed. They're
Yep.
going to look into your bank statements. They're going to dig deep. And the
And our
best,
credit was pulled a lot.
oh yeah, yeah, our keeps getting,
Probably, I would say no less than 4 times.
oh yeah, we still
And
get
of
it pulled.
course, the more your
Until we
credit's
sell.
pulled, the
Right. And here's the other
higher it
catch.
goes.
And you have the debt to ratio. Debt to ratio
Yep.
is how much money you have available on your credit cards and,
Yep.
X, Y, Z. So what happens when you have pretty much 3 different mortgages and all your other bills? What's going to happen to your credit cards? Anybody have a clue? Of course.
Uh-huh.
During that period, they will probably be maxed. So they're
Exactly.
punished for paying everybody and then having to keep going with the debt to ratio. So it's just this endless cycle that keeps on spinning.
It's
Uh,
definitely a struggle that, not saying I would have ever, I mean, of course, it'll be worth it in the long run,
yeah, but I don't
but
know if
would I
I wish
ever,
it's on my worst nightmare, my worst enemy at the
I would
moment.
never do it again. I can tell you that.
I'm not doing it. And I had heard people say that. And I will say that the build itself, besides the extras,
Yeah.
there's nothing
It's
wrong
the
with,
other, it's the
yeah,
other
there's
crap.
nothing wrong with the builder. There's nothing wrong with, the way the house is going, besides the extras. But it is the way you're treated as being self-employed,
Yeah.
as building something for yourself. It's almost like you're less than because you're not getting a weekly paycheck and there's no guarantee for
Right.
that and so forth. So these
You
are
know?
things to consider when you
Yeah.
decide to build or buy a house while you're self-employed.
Yep. It is definitely not, even with, I had to purchase a car. I don't want to say on an emergency situation, but it was because my previous car was totaled, in a wreck a couple of years ago. And at the time, my husband and I were both self-employed. That was also a
No go.
struggle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't,
And
it feels like the small business owner, no matter what
yeah,
direction you get hit in situations like these, it almost feels like a punishment. I mean, that's how I felt the last 9 months.
it's
Maybe
like
I'll come out of this
you had
feeling
to
different.
beg. You had to beg,
Yes.
like, look, I'm showing you
Hey,
right here.
this is
I make
it.
this every single
Right.
month.
And he employs people. So these are small companies that are actually contributing to our
Yeah.
community. And we're the ones that are being, scrutinized or, I have to say, it has nothing to do with the people that we've been involved with in the banking process. It's nothing to do with that. It's just general rules
It's just a
for,
blanket.
it's just a blanket set
Uh-huh.
of rules for the small business owner
Yep.
that is really tough. Um, who,
Because I don't know about you, but we went through probably 5 different banks
oh
in
yeah,
our
yeah,
research, and picking up the phone and
we were
calling and saying,
rejected.
hey,
Absolutely.
do
Mhm.
you even do self-build construction or for self-employed? Absolutely not. And we finally
Absolutely.
found one bank that is local to us that they were like, sure, come on.
We had to do referral after referral after referral after
Yes,
referral.
it
Everybody
was
we were
a
running into.
nightmare.
Absolutely.
And I
So
give my husband props for all of that because he handled the majority of it. He just told me what paperwork he needed, and I'm just, here you go. Here you go. Because I don't want to say lost in it, but
nobody tells you the
nobody
experience it.
tells you anything.
Absolutely. And like I said, I've been self-employed for a very over 30 years.
Yeah.
So I had been through the experience of knowing, what it's like to get a house and what it's like to
Yep.
get a car. I've known that, and but this was a whole other level. And I'm not kidding when I tell you. Now, as I mentioned, we still had our house as we were
Yeah.
building. So when we got the construction loan, I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. It was a stack that high, and
Hmm.
it took us 3 hours
Yep.
to sign everything. You were basically signing, there was no part of your life that you weren't signing with. And that was
I
the,
asked if they wanted our blood type or
I
a
literally to
sample
the,
or kidney or
absolutely. I'm like, did you need my firstborn? What else are we going to be
what we
needing in here?
what else you want. And the sad thing is, it took us maybe an hour in the actual attorney's office to close on our loan. And we actually do not have to close after our house is finished. Like it's already done.
Oh, see,
Like
you're in a better
all said
spot
and
than me.
done.
We still now have to see, that's what I'm saying. We're in a different
Yeah.
position. We still have to close and go through this
Yeah.
whole process again.
And I don't know if the difference is maybe when you started your loan, you still had the mortgage and we
That is
didn't. Maybe
absolutely,
that's what it is.
yeah.
But um for us, we had to sign probably I would say no more than 50 papers with just the bank via like DocuSign and all that other crap. And then we had to turn around and go to the attorney's office. And Zach and I were sitting there, sign sign
Absolutely.
initial here. And then we had to go back to the attorney's office because they lost our paperwork to our mortgage company in the mail. So that's a whole nother story. So we had to go and we had to go together and being self-employed. He's on job sites. I have meetings. I have projects I have to do. He's sometimes 2, 3, 4 hours away. So we had to plan because we had to go back together for them to witness that we were signing them again.
So I say, so I don't think people, necessarily understand that either you and I
No,
have two different stories when it comes to building. Now, here's the truth of it. If you want to build, if you're going to be
do it.
determined to do that, you're going to have to go through this. If you're self-employed, please pre-plan, lay it
Yes.
out, look at it, see what they're going to need, decide whether you want to do it before you do it. I hadn't built before, so this was a new thing to me.
Either.
I have not seen anything like this beast ever in my life.
And
This
we'll
whole
never do it again.
so it's a lot. So I would
Yeah.
encourage people to be smarter than I was and look into what happens when you actually go to build when you're
Yeah.
both self-employed. When
And
you're
not only just the financial side of things, but the way you go about it. Being self-employed, of course, we have our perks of, we have flexibility, we have this and that, but you not only do you deal with the financial side, so that's a whole different what we just talked about. Then you have dealing with contractors.
mm,
If you have a general contractor, of course, you have to have one in a build, but keeping up with what they're doing, making sure that so you do need some sort of knowledge of like, okay, that don't look right. Or why is the concrete cracked? And this is from experience. Why is why are the pipes not lining up with the plans? Speaking from experience. So there's a lot more that's involved other than the
Now,
financial
I
aspect
will
of
say
it.
I did the electrical with my husband. We did that
Yeah.
on our. There's no way we couldn't have done any of the others. Well, we could have done
And
the painting and things like that, of course, but
And just like, for example, last week we had our trusses for our roof dropped off 2 days prior than when they were supposed to be. I was actually on our networking call when
That's
it was
right.
happening.
That's right.
So I'm like, okay, do I need to hop off of this call and go take care of this? Because they did not put them where we wanted them to be
Oh,
put.
oh, no.
Or do I stick with,
Where I
doing
am,
my
finishing my
thing and just ignoring
job.
that? So there's some contractors that you can just leave it to them and you have a house. But there's also, the flip side on our end. We're doing everything ourselves. So we are having to monitor
Everything.
every everything. And I love saying too, I'm a project manager by day, but I'm also a project manager at night, along with my husband, because we have to make sure
Step
that,
by step.
when we get through maybe half of a step, we're ordering stuff for the next step and making sure our timeline's kind of staying on track. Because if it rains, we can't work outside
Oh
in the rain.
yeah.
So that's another, and there's a lot of times he's had to hop off of a job site, come running down here when a concrete truck gets stuck in the mud because they don't know how to back it up to pull the concrete truck out of our yard. So there's a lot of other things to consider being self-employed.
Absolutely. Now, I will tell you, you mentioned a lot of things that you can do yourself. The other thing
Yeah.
that my husband did really well on his own, and I didn't even know this, and most people may not want it. I didn't care. There are a lot of companies who, when they work with luxury homes, when the luxury homes are being built, they take the kitchen and they resell it. They take those items out of that house and resell it.
Oh,
My
okay.
husband was on a site like that, and we paid 1/3 of what we would have paid
Yes.
for the kitchen.
Yes, we've
So
done
you
that with appliance. Like, so when we had found stuff that we wanted for our house and like it was on sale, of course we grabbed it because we have a warehouse that we store stuff in. Um, we've got our bathtub, we've got our refrigerator that we bought from a Lowe's clearance store. Because I mean, we have to save where we can. So anything we found
absolutely.
on sale,
We found
we've grabbed
marketplace.
it.
We found
Yeah,
items in marketplace.
yeah,
So for us, it didn't necessarily matter if it was brand new. It was
same.
getting the
Yeah.
best we can, what we have, and how do we do that?
Uh-huh.
So there are creative ways to do it, and like I said, I'm not fussy when it comes to that kind of stuff. As long as it works and it's actually nicer than what we would have been able to get because we would have had it probably brand new and we wouldn't have been able to afford it. So it is actually nicer than what we would have been able to get. So there's all
Exactly.
kinds of things that go into the build as we're learning. And like I
Not
said,
counting the mental side of it too. That's a
mental
whole
side of it,
nother.
that's the other aspect I want to throw into it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many sleepless nights you've had, but I've had, just a few. Just a few. And then you
I
you
just had one the other night.
uh-huh. And then what happens is as entrepreneurs, you have your own load of stuff going on. And I'll
Yes.
tell you that, I have not had to really reach out or become available for new clients. But now I am. I'm taking on a couple new, I have put the word out that I'm taking up a couple new clients, and I haven't done that in years. Not that I didn't want to, it's just I like the people I'm working with. I'm very
Yeah.
content. But now everybody's world is shifting due to the economy. So that's kind of where you definitely have to prepare yourself. You definitely have to be open, and you definitely don't want to make the mistakes we did, right?
No, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of time because usually, like sometimes my husband takes off on Fridays or he doesn't work on Fridays, and same with me. That's a goal of mine is to continue not working on Fridays. And a lot of times he and I are out there on Fridays, but I'm still answering Boxer messages or I'm checking Slack or checking ClickUp to make sure my clients are taken care of, but I'm out there.
Oh, I love the video. You had a not that it's funny, but it was a little funny of your husband falling on a
Well,
ladder.
I will say I do have permission because he posted his but falling off of a ladder on TikTok. So
You see
that's
Nikki
permission
running
enough.
after him as he's falling off the ladder with her little tool belt on.
Yep, here I come. With my pink hammer and my pink everything. And I have a pink bucket that I carry around to put my scraps
You
of wood
did
in.
share
So
that on social media, right? I thought that was a
yes, 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 yes. So that was a house build incident. I've been whacked by a 2x6. So I mean,
Got the
we're
black and blue marks
yeah,
to
it's
prove
there.
it.
It's there. We're thriving over here.
Well, one day we're gonna look back and laugh, right? I'm laughing, but I'm not feeling it's really real at the moment.
We'll laugh about it
It's just
later, I'm
laughing
sure.
to get through it.
As long as we, especially me and my husband, more so him, as long as we make it out of this like in one piece, no
I give you a
chronic.
lot of credit because how long have you guys been married?
Let's see, what is it? 26, 7 years.
It's tough those first 5 years alone, and then you add kids, which is a double whammy, and then
Yeah,
you
we
add
we had our first one in we were pregnant with our first on
yeah.
our first year.
Same thing with us. And that I know is a ton of pressure. That's a shift because it was me alone because he was working and I
Yep.
had no family and and you're still getting used to living with someone. It's so funny. My son, moved in with his girlfriend. I'm like, 5 years to adjust to each
Uh-huh.
other. Give yourself 5 years.
Yeah, and I'll tell you too, with us building this house together, he would probably have different opinions because sometimes I slow him down more so than help, depending on what it is. Um, but we have not argued about any house
Wow.
design. We have not argued about anything we picked out for the house. We have truly like, yes, I like that. Let's do that, or let's go with that doorknob, or let's go with that door. Let's go with these. We have not argued about anything with that.
Wow. I don't think
Not
we
one aspect.
we had a deal. He gets the outside, I get the inside. Like I'll let you pick what you want as far as the house design on the outside and this and that. When it comes to the inside, like the paint color,
Yeah.
simple
And I
stuff. But
think a lot of that boils
not
down to
that
us being together so long, and two, not really, we planned. We planned ahead, and we knew like going in before we even bought our property. If we saw a house that we like, oh, I really like that, or I really like that. And we have fallen in love with Charleston, South Carolina. That is our second home for us. And there's a lot of aspects that we love in Charleston that we are actually incorporating in our house.
cool, are you?
So, like gas lanterns, that is a typical Charleston feature on houses down there. That is going on the outside of our house. Um,
Did you
so
have?
there's
I thought
things
did
like
you have
that.
any? Was there anything that you were kind of not bending on? The only thing I will say is two things. My husband knew I wanted two things eventually. He's known this since we got married. I
Yeah.
want walk out of my bedroom on a deck, be outside. So that was always one of my dreams. And then the other one was I wanted a library where I could put all my books. So we have a little room that will be a library, and then our bedroom does open. You know,
The
that was
the
really about the only two
only
things.
the only non-negotiable I had was because I started my business in our old house, and my desk was in our master bedroom. And I
Yeah.
found myself not being able to work in there because
Oh
kids,
yeah. Yeah.
kids. So I ended up working at our kitchen counter on our bar stools, and it just wasn't. I mean, it was fine. It did what it served its purpose. But one of my non-negotiables was a pantry and an office
Yeah.
because I need that like right now in this itty bitty box that I'm in, which I'm grateful for because I know if I talk bad about it, something's gonna break.
Yes. Let's be clear
Um,
that grateful for everything where we are,
I
but
need
it is
some juju. Yeah.
yes.
Um, but here, like I eat at this table, I work at this table, I do crafts with my kids at this table, I paint fingernails at this table. Everything happens at this table. So I knew going into this build, like I needed my own Blakely Co space.
Yeah.
And of course I'll share it with my husband too. But it's more so a space for me to leave my laptop on my desk and shut the door.
Absolutely.
When I'm done for the day, I'll walk into my living space and I have that separation. So that's also another aspect that you have to think about as a work from home mom or a business owner is you have to find those boundaries, even if it is having a small office incorporated into your build or your house purchase. You have to have a space for your sanity, really.
Try to be clear on those non-negotiable things that you definitely, for sure. Absolutely. Well, Nikki, so
Yes.
I think both you and I agree that we are blessed more than
Oh,
ever.
absolutely.
Very grateful.
I love where we're at. I love
Very
my
grateful.
home. I love my property. I love our animals. I love all the space that my kids get to roll around in mud.
But some
So,
get there, there is a lot to handle. And we just want to make sure that if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a new entrepreneur, really check into what you're going to need
yeah.
to, do something like this, whether it be a build or a house, if you're a small business owner. So hopefully this has been a little bit of fun. We
Yeah.
are
This
an
was like a spur
open,
of the moment kind of
yeah,
thing.
we
We were
are
like,
an open book. Happy to take any questions.
we love our Kira. We miss her. She is moving her baby into college this week. So we thought, this would be a good time for Tammy and I
Bond
to take it
over
back to the old
our
days and chit chat.
absolutely
Long time
bond
ago.
over our build, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes. And I think
Nikki,
we both share some valuable insights, especially with us having you know, different ways of doing things and
I keep envisioning. It was so funny because in my one of my mentor groups, it was envision the holidays.
yeah.
And so I keep doing that. I just keep doing that,
Yes.
envisioning holidays in the house. So, which is a good rule of
Yep.
thumb. You too, Nikki.
Yes.
Anyways, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of fun today, maybe a little bit of information. But this is real. Certainly have gone through this together at the same time. Um,
Yep.
as a reminder, we are Women Talk Fierce, three women, three stages of life and business, a roller coaster of laugh, lessons, and loud opinions. Uh, this might turn into a true crime podcast. Again, I'm going to throw Nikki under the bus. I think she's got more than me this week.
It's gonna be me because I'm about to lose my mind with these kids not being in school this week.
It recorded. Anyway, so it has been lots of fun. Miss Shakira and Nikki,
Yes,
where can
we
they
do.
find us?
You can find us on YouTube. You can watch our beautiful faces every single week, especially with our guests. It is a valuable take from our podcast. You can also find us anywhere that you can find podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all the things. So we are there. And since Kira's not here, I will shout her out for her beautiful renovation of our website. So it's www.womentalkfierce.com. And you can find out all about our networking group there. We do bi-monthly meetings with our networking group, and you'd get one free sentence, so you can sign up for that there.
Why would you
That
not
was a
want?
mouthful.
Why would you not want to? Amazing. Well, it's always so much fun spending time with you. Thanks,
You
Nikki.
too.
Bye, everybody. All right.
All right. Good morning. I would say ladies, but we're missing one.
Oh, we're having a secret podcast today, Nikki.